Welcome to today's trauma-informed yoga class, where we will go through a mindful movement practice to focus in on the sensations in the body. Although trauma is stored in the brain, our body can hold somatic memories and feelings of tension or pain or stiffness. And so this practice aims to allow you to mindfully tune into these sensations in the body with gentle curiosity in any way that feels good for you. I'm Adriana, a trauma-informed yoga instructor and physiotherapist. And just like in all my videos, I am here as a guide. It is completely up to you how much you participate. I will offer choices, and you can decide what works best for your body today. It might be handy to have a bolster or blocks. They're not needed, but if you have them around, you might want them for today. And we'll get started. I invite you to sit in a comfortable form, whatever that looks like to you. I'm sitting on the bolster with my knees crossed, but you can do whatever works for your body. You may decide to close the eyes. Perhaps you keep them open, or maybe gaze gently in front of you. Taking a moment to mindfully scan through the body, noticing any areas that feel different. Maybe they feel tense or stiff, or maybe you have pain. Just gently bringing awareness to those areas if you feel safe to do so. Taking a nice deep inhale and a nice deep exhale. One more time, a nice deep inhale, and maybe on the exhale, you let it all go. Your eyes are closed. You could open them if you'd like. And I will explore some movements throughout the neck and upper body here. So you can join me in bringing the right ear to the right shoulder. Perhaps noticing sensations on that left side of the neck. You can explore movements of the neck here, going down towards the chin and over to the other side, bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. You might decide to just hold the neck in one area. That's completely okay too. You can decide what you would like to do for the neck today. Maybe you do full circles looking up as well. Gently allowing yourself to feel into these sensations mindfully with some curiosity, knowing there is no right or wrong way to feel. And perhaps you take your hands behind your back and clasp them together, opening a little bit through the chest here. Sometimes when we have experienced trauma or negative experiences, we close in a little bit on ourselves and hold our posture a little bit forward. So the shape gives you the opportunity to open up through the chest if you would like. You can bring the chest as high as feels comfortable, maybe even gaze upward, pulling those arms down behind you. Taking a breath here. Bringing the head back down to center. Letting the arms go, bringing them back to the knees. Moving into cat-cow here. So if you'd like to join me, you can come on your hands and knees. And just like we did sitting, exploring different variations of the movements here. So you might decide to do cat-cow, going arching, lifting the tailbone up and the head up, and then rounding at the back, bringing that tailbone under. You may decide to do gentle circles with the hips, getting a little bit more movement here, maybe even swaying through the shoulders a bit. Or maybe you look over that right shoulder, bringing that right hip to one side, and switching back and forth, looking over the left shoulder and the left hip. You can find the variation of the movement that works for you today. And just like in sitting, noticing the sensations gently. Noticing anything that arises. Always knowing that you can stop, you can change whatever you're doing. It's your choice. Have trust in what works for you. And if you're still with me on the cat-cows, on your next exhale, I invite you to come into child's form. You might bring the knees as wide as the mat. You could always keep them together. And bringing the hips back towards the feet. Now your arms could stay up above your head. You could place your fists down and rest your forehead on your fists. Whatever feels good for you today. Maybe noticing sensations in the low back and the hips with this. If you feel safe to do so, just sit with those sensations. And they'll be here for a few breaths. Perhaps you sink a little deeper into the child's form. Allowing yourself whatever you need in this moment. And on your next exhale, if you're in child's form, I invite you to come back up onto all fours. Moving into a low lunge, you could take the left leg and bring it forward, keeping both knees bent, keeping the right knee down on the mat. If you would like a pillow or a blanket under the back knee, feel free to grab that for some extra support. Just taking a moment in this low lunge, perhaps bringing that left knee a little bit more forward to get more of a sensation through that right thigh. You could once again take your hands behind your back, just as we did in sitting, clasping them and opening those shoulders up a little bit, gazing up or forward. Working through a few different areas here, the hips and the chest, the neck. Bringing that awareness, knowing in this moment you are safe. You can always come out of the shape. And if you would like to switch the variation, I invite you to take both your hands and place them on the inside of your left foot. So you might shimmy that left foot over a little bit. And from here, keeping that right hand down, bringing that left hand up, turning the body to the left. Maybe that left arm goes above the head. Gentle twist here. On the exhale, bringing that left arm down, coming back to both hands on the ground. You might decide to stay here for a moment, or if this sensation feels like too much through the hips, maybe you go back into your low lunge. And whenever you are ready, you can bring those arms back up and switch sides, moving into low lunge on the right. So taking that left leg down, bringing that right foot up. Taking a moment to find what feels best for your body. Perhaps on this side, bringing that right knee a little bit more forward, feeling those sensations in the left thigh. Once again, arms can stay where they are, or you could clasp them behind your back. Perhaps switching whichever hand was on top or which thumb was on top. And holding here for as long as feels comfortable. I'll be here a few moments. You might notice some resistance to different shapes. Completely up to you if you want to work through that resistance or not. You can decide what feels safe for you today. On your next exhale, bringing both hands down to the inside of that right foot, maybe shimmying the right foot out a tiny bit. Taking that right hand, lifting it up, twisting your body over to the right. Taking a breath here. And on the exhale, lowering that right arm, coming back down. Once again, perhaps staying in this shape for a little bit. Or if this does not feel good, perhaps coming back to that low lunge or anything else that your body is asking of you. And on your next breath, you can bring that right leg back so you're back onto all fours. Moving into pigeon here. So a couple different variations or ways of doing this. You could bring your arms a little bit more forward, take that left knee, place it behind the left hand, and place that left foot behind the right hand. The back leg will go straight with the foot facing down. You could stay up like this. You may decide to go down on your forearms. If you have a block handy, you could bring that block underneath your hips or even to where your hands were. So perhaps you have the block under the hips to sit on, or maybe you bring the block up to your forearms if you want to have a little bit more support there. So you can decide the variation that works for you today, and we'll take a couple breaths here. And pigeon can be one of those forms that feels very tense. So work into what feels best for you, knowing that whatever comes up, you can be mindful about it. You can have gentle curiosity towards it. If it feels comfortable to do so, perhaps you sink a little bit deeper into that left hip. Knowing you can come out at any time, I'll be here a few more breaths. Whenever you are ready, if your arms are on a block or if they're up or you're on your forearms, go back onto your hands. And you can switch over to the other side. Bring that left leg back. That right knee is going to go behind the right hand, right foot behind the left hand. Block, once again, could go under the hips or under the hands. Choose the variation for you today. You may notice that one side feels very different than the other side. That's normal. Don't judge yourself if you want a different variation from one side to the next. Or try not to judge yourself, at least. Just with the other side, I'll be here for a few breaths. You can stay with me, sinking deeper, or you can come out at any time. Whenever you would like, you can come up and meet me lying on your back for the end of today's practice. And if you're joining me on your back, I invite you to bend the knees with the feet down on the mat. And just gently windshield wiper the knees side to side as far as feels comfortable, getting some small movement throughout the hips and the legs. You could go as fast or as slow as you would like, as big or as small. Whatever the body is asking for today. When you're ready, stopping the movement and straightening that right leg so that the leg is resting on the mat. Taking the left knee up to your chest, getting a one leg knee to chest stretch here. You can grab that left leg with both hands or just one, whatever feels good for you. You may decide to rock back and forth a little bit into that left hip. Getting a bit of a massage through the area, a self-massage. If your hips are not asking for that today, maybe you just stay in one spot. Switching sides on your own time, bending the right knee, straightening the left leg. Once again, perhaps massaging on this side or just staying in one spot. And if you feel called to having your legs however you would like, bringing the arms into cactus arms for one more chest opening form. So having the forearms, the back of the forearms resting on the ground with the elbows bent out at 90 degrees, palms up. Maybe feeling a gentle sensation through the front side body. Can always lie on a bolster or block if you would like to get more of a sensation throughout the chest, throughout the shoulders. And bringing the arms down to rest in Shavasana whenever you are ready. Taking a couple final moments. Acknowledging the time that you took for yourself today to be mindful over any sensations in the body, anything stored. Allowing yourself to feel whatever you needed to feel. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.